Hey, how's it going, everybody? Episode 84 of the Erick and Brad Show. Erick and Brad Show at gmail.com. Erick and Brad Show at gmail.com. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, anywhere you can find podcasts. Follow, rate, review, like, whatever you got to do. Send us an email, erickandbradshow at gmail.com. It's April 30th today, 1998, and I'm feeling optimistic about the future, man. The 2000s are coming, and they're coming in hot. It's gonna be great.
The new Backstreet album's due next month. So we're
God, I know.
Yeah, that new single is fire, dog.
Dude, I'm gonna stand online. Midnight release.
I wish I could think of goddamn Backstreet Boys song.
I want it that way.
That way. Tell me why.
God, music is just so good right now. I don't think
know, dude.
anything.
Will
like
Smith's new album. It's so good.
Like, I don't think anything in the next couple years bad's gonna happen. Like,
not at all.
Nothing. Like, nobody. Yeah, dude. Schools are safe. You know, New York is safe. Yeah. Everything is just gonna be great.
Yeah. Yep.
We're here, just a couple young kids. My name's Brad.
Are we
just a couple young kids, just ready for the future?
Is it like the anniversary of Columbine or something like that? Is that what you're getting at? Or
well, that was 10 days ago. Would have been the anniversary.
Okay, is that what you were referencing, or
no?
What were you referencing? Bad was gonna happen in 1998.
Oh no, that was 99. So I'm just saying, in the next 3-4 years from where we are right now, 1998.
You mean
can't see anything bad?
The trade centers?
Yeah.
Are okay. Man, you really went on a stretch there. That
Sorry.
was hard to get to your to get there.
Sorry.
Well, how's Bradley doing? Is snowpocalypse over? Are you safe?
Snowpocalypse is over. Safe? I'm good. We're everything's fine. I'm here this week. I'm gonna be gone the next 2 weeks. Back to Idaho.
Breast reduction surgery.
I have surgeries. I have surgeries I have to do. Long drive across Montana. Need to figure out what's going to be listened to during all that.
They won't do gender reversal surgery, and is that against the rules in North Dakota? Or
I have no idea. Reversal
or whatever. Gender
reassignment.
What is it? Reassignment. There we go.
I have no idea. I'm sure I would think you could do it anywhere. I don't know. I have to do some.
I don't think you
Googling.
can. I don't think North Dakota does it.
Okay, I have to do some Googling on that. But yeah, I mean, everything's fine up here right now. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing gravy.
Oh, good.
I've heard some horror stories up there. Is it something? Is this like Fight Club? We don't talk about it, or?
No, I mean the last 2 weekends we had. For Alaska, it would be considered a lot of snow. We had a lot of fucking snow. I don't care where you live on this planet. If you lived through the last 2 weekends that I lived through, you'd be like, "Damn, that was a lot of snow." So it was a lot of snow.
But then I saw a picture today, and there was no snow on the ground, which that confused me. How do you get rid of 1.5 foot of snow in a week at a time?
It just staying in the 40s and 50s and 60s for a week.
That's crazy. I would even assume at 60 degrees you couldn't melt 1.5 foot of snow in a week.
Yeah, you bet it happened. It's going to be 70 here in a few days.
And there's no snow anywhere.
There's some giant piles of it where it's been plowed, you know what I mean? But on people's
your
lawns,
yard is empty.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Is that not crazy? Am I the crazy one around here? That seems crazy to me.
Yeah, it all melts. It's fucking
snow doesn't
science,
just
bro.
A foot of snow doesn't just melt.
Yeah, it does.
It takes some time. It takes some time, dog.
Well, I've seen it. It's science. It's a weird planet. People call this planet, people call Earth a perfect home for us. I disagree. I think it's fucking crazy.
I disagree too. I've thought that. Ever since I was a little kid, we don't belong on this fucking planet. Out of all the other animals, why is it all the other animals pop out good to go, and we are just miserable from day one? Nothing goes our way. It's just I don't think we're supposed to be here. This isn't our home planet.
Yeah, it's weird.
The aliens fucking came down and impregnated a monkey.
Uh-huh. Right.
How come a horse can just stand up? Just stand right up. Just fucking boom. Gets shit out, and within 30 seconds, it's on its feet. That doesn't make any sense at all to me.
No, you leave right when we are born. If you leave us and walk away, we're gonna die.
We are going to die.
Right.
And most animals probably going to die, but there is a chance that thing is going to live.
Yeah, you have the
There's
little
a
baby
chance.
turtles running along the beach to the water, and then they're just good to go.
Yeah, good to go.
Yeah.
Good to go.
I don't know.
But a baby?
Or you're
There's 0% chance. There is not,
Zero.
out of 8 billion babies, not one of them is going to survive. Not one.
Yeah, that's weird.
It ain't going to crawl its way and find some berries. No, not at all. But out of 1 million deer that you just abandon with no mom, a few of them are going to make it. You
Right.
know what I mean? They're
Yeah,
going to
yeah,
just
yeah.
wander around and figure it out and be like, well, it sucks. But they're just going to get lucky that a tiger doesn't take them out or something.
But
and they'll make it.
if you just had 1 million babies and no one else, zero would make it.
Do you remember that? Have we talked about? There was that experiment where they took like I think it was in the 50s where they took a bunch of newborn babies and then like zero human to human contact. Everything was like done by a machine or whatever. Like the babies are being taken care of, but no human connection. And they had to shut it down after a few days because babies started dying. Like humans need connection. It has nothing to do with food, milk, sleep, nothing. If we don't have a human around us to like love us, we'll fucking die. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, we're weak. We're weak little bitches.
Very weak little bitches.
Are your chickens still alive?
Chickens are doing fucking great, dude. They're balling.
Thriving.
I got a little chicken hotel fucking built out there. Dude, they're loving life, dog. Installed another light. They got it made in the shade, dog. They got a fucking
Okay. Your chickens do, not like chickens in general.
Oh, not chickens in general. My chickens are balling.
Yeah.
They're
lucky.
fucking, dude, real lucky.
Wow.
And I've cleared out all the rats, killed 3 rats, and the rats progressively got bigger. I think I killed a son, a mother, and then a father because the rats just kept getting bigger. And the last rat was a pretty decent sized rat. Not the biggest rat I've ever seen.
Creepy.
There's some big rats here. I had never seen a rat in Idaho. My brother one time.
Oh yeah.
Said that there, in our house, he had this whole fiasco with a pack rat, and he said that thing was bigger than the fucking cat. Like it was fucking huge
In Idaho.
in Idaho. But other than that, I've seen mice, but I've never seen a rat. And here we got fucking rats, dog. They love Portland. It's their jam.
I was born in Florence, and
Florence, Oregon.
yeah.
Where's that at?
I don't know. It's on the coast, a little south of you, I think. And my parents said that in the house there, you could like hear the rats running across on the ceiling. They were big rats.
Yeah.
So when I was a little baby, like I had like big rats running around in the ceiling, which is probably still, giving me trauma.
Sit in your mouth.
That trauma is still probably with me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I believe
downtown. We did some construction downtown, and we were ripping up and we were like downtown, right on the waterfront, and that shit. There's like, I haven't really gone through it, but supposedly there's like a whole underground on the waterfront there in Portland. Like it's like Coeur d'Alene has all that shit. Like all of downtown Coeur d'Alene has like 3 stories underground and a bunch of like hidden rooms and stuff like that.
Okay.
I've never been there, but I had a buddy that was worked in a restaurant, and he's like, dude, there's legitimately like hidden rooms and real shanty ass shit under Coeur d'Alene.
Creepy.
Like, yeah, dude, yeah. But anyways, same thing in Portland, and they say it's because there used to be like major like black market shit going on off the ships that would come up the Columbia, and like weird like sex trafficking and human trafficking shit and drug shit going on. Like ships would pull in, and they literally like, I don't know, the stories I've heard is they'd literally like things would be leaving the bottom of the ship and like getting put underground, and then like it was all in the hush hush.
Nice.
It's called the Shanghai tunnels. But anyways, so you just imagine Columbia Riverfront, 3 stories of shanty shit underground. There's some fucking rats, dog. Like, there's some rats up in that shit. And so we were tearing up the east side of the river, which I don't know if they got the shanty shit going on that side, but we were tearing up sidewalk, dude, and that shit was gnarly. We just take an excavator and we'd lift up like a 10-foot chunk of sidewalk and just fucking big old fucks. The size of cats, dog. Just fucking full on cats. Just it was like, damn, that's gross.
That's
dog.
nasty.
Yeah. And I don't know if you've noticed this, but I can't stop saying dog recently. I don't know what it is. Some things come into my like vernacular and I can't get rid of them. And dog has become... What's up, dog? I don't know. I don't know. It's yeah, I've been getting made fun of a little bit about it, but I don't really care. Dog.
Should I get into something?
Let's go.
Okay, I have some serious nerdy movie talk. You're probably gonna check out halfway through it. It's just I've just got a lot of it.
Oh, okay. I got some shit to add to that. Go ahead.
Okay, it's gonna get real weird here, but let me just go. So last weekend went and saw the Northman, new movie, about Vikings and a bunch of shit. Loved
I heard it was misogynistic.
I don't know. A lot of white people.
That's what the Twitter's saying.
Okay.
Yeah, it's so weird how they're making a movie about Northern people and they didn't put a bunch of black people in it. Come on.
In the year 895, it takes place. So, anyway, directed by Robert Eggers. This is his 3rd film. I have seen, and I didn't even do this on purpose, all 3 of his films. The first one was called The Witch. Hated it. Watched it off a recommendation of a radio host I listened to. Recommended it. Watched it. Fucking hated it. I hated it so much. His second movie was called The Lighthouse. I watched that, loved it. It was with Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe. They're both lighthouse operators or whatever. I think Willem Dafoe is training Robert Pattinson how to run a lighthouse. Anyway, they both just get stuck in this lighthouse for this storm and just lose their minds. Loved that. And then this one, The Northman, loved it. It's about Vikings, and Vikings are fucking brutal and crazy and dark and twisted. You do not want to be on the wrong side of an old school, the year 800 Viking attack on your village, because you're gonna get fucked up. If you're lucky, you'll be a man and you go out there and they'll just let them kill you. What you don't want to be is women or children, because then after all the men are dead, the Vikings you can guess what happens to the women, and then they just throw all the children in like a building and torch the thing. They're just straight fucking animal soldiers. Anyway, it was a great movie, and I loved it. And it's a revenge tale, too, which I didn't know really anything about it going into it, but it was a revenge tale like The Count of Monte Cristo or Man on Fire, like right up my alley.
Okay.
Love a good revenge movie. Like the long burn of the little kid, sees something happen, and then it's like 40 years in the future, and it's like the long burn of a revenge tale, and that's fucking cool with me.
Yeah.
Ethan Hawke, Willem Dafoe, Nicole Kidman, Anna Taylor-Joy.
Willem Dafoe's in this movie?
Yeah. Yes. Anna Taylor-Joy, who's the new young actress that like everybody's obsessed with, and they have a right to be. The girl from The Queen's Gambit. They have a right to be obsessed with her because she's actually really good. She in this was really good. A lot of, all the male actors in this did a really good job, but I thought the 2 women in the movie completely stole the fucking show, and I am not a Nicole Kidman fan. I don't like her. I don't like her and her weird husband, and I would hate to be around these 2 people. The only thing I loved her in was Eyes Wide Shut, but in this, she was so fucking good that in the theater, I was like, wow, out loud, because there was a scene in this movie with her that she was fucking killing it, and it was like one of the best scenes I've ever seen in my life, and I was just like, wow, dude, holy shit. It was peak of what an actor I think would want to be. It was incredible. Liked the movie. It was really good. I I saw this the other day. I know we've brought it up, but there's been slight progress on it. Avatar 2 coming in December 2022, coming this year. It was announced. It's called Avatar 2: Way of Water. The first trailer is coming in front of Doctor Strange, which comes out May 6th, in a week from now. The first Avatar trailer. And then you have Avatar 3, December 2024, Avatar 4, December 2026, Avatar 5, December 2028. So get ready to get fucking deep dicked with a fucking giant blue Avatar dick over the next 6 years, because they're coming and they're coming fucking hard. And I'm there for it. If I have to wear 3D glasses, I will, even though I fucking hate wearing 3D glasses. I'm looking forward to it. And it's going to be crazy. So, then, okay, so after all that, okay, this is pretty weird. This is really not that interesting, but I've kind of found it interesting. Recently did sort of a rewatch run through of some of David Fincher movies. David Fincher is on my Mount Rushmore of directors for me personally. It would go Tarantino, Martin Scorsese, Stanley Kubrick, and David Fincher. For me personally, that's my Mount Rushmore. I rewatched like Seven, Fight Club, Panic Room, Zodiac, Social Network, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo that I had never seen before, and Gone Girl. Did not rewatch Benjamin Button because I had seen it before and I don't want to rewatch it. But in the rewatch and just sort of paying more attention to stuff, I realized that, the score for a movie, when they have someone make the score for a movie, it's like the music to the movie that's not like songs, it's just sort of the music, like background music. Mm-hmm. So the score for 3 of these movies are done by the same 2 people. For Social Network, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, and Gone Girl. 2 people did the score for these 3 movies. They got nominated for Oscars for all 3. They won the Academy Award for Best Original Score for Social Network. I remember watching the Oscars the year that they won for this. I think it was 2011. And they won, and I was like, that's really weird, because I've heard the score for the Social Network, and I didn't think it was that good. So that's weird that they'd win for it. In the last 2 weeks, I've listened to it probably half a dozen times. It's called Hand Over Bruise, and the 2 men who did the score for these 3 movies and wrote the score for that movie is a man named Atticus Ross and a man named Trent Reznor. Okay, and they are making the scores for these 3 movies are extremely good, and the score for that movie, Social Network, is actually really fucking good. And on the YouTube, one YouTube comment says like 6 notes that define a whole generation and have a bunch of likes on it, and I was like, that's stupid to say. But then the more that I listen to it and kind of think about that, I'm like, fuck, they might be right about that. It's
6 notes.
Yeah, like piano notes. Dun, 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 dun. And it kind of just repeats. But there's like this distorted violin in it too. And it's like, it's so simple, yet so absolutely brilliant that I'm just like, it's just so fucking weird and good. And I really appreciate
You kind of have lost me in the rambling that you're doing there.
Yeah.
So, what are you talking about? The score for a certain movie?
Yeah. The movie The Social
Network.
Yes.
The one about Facebook.
Yes.
Was done by Trent Reznor and Atticus whatever.
Atticus Ross, who I guess was a producer for Nine Inch Nails for a long time.
Yeah, they had a record label called Atticus, I'm pretty sure. A bunch of kids, when I was in high school when Nine Inch Nails was blowing up, used to wear shirts that said Atticus, and it had a crow. It had a crow dead flipped upside down. And I've seen it on a bunch of shit. And I'm pretty sure there's this album that has that on it, Atticus with the bird, like how the Rolling Stones always did the kiss mouth thing, or whatever. You know what I mean? How it's someone else's symbol, but something there. Yeah, that guy. I think there's a record label called Atticus, and it has to do with Trent Reznor and that guy. I think. I don't know. But then you're saying there's a song within that score that's has a 6-note repeating, or is the 6-note like in almost every part of that score? Because some scores are like that. Like there's a kind of a vibe, and then they'll like change it on certain songs, but it all ties into the same like vibe. Like
The 6-note score that I'm referencing is the one that won the Oscar. That's the score that we're talking about.
But is it when you say the word score for a movie, you're meaning multiple different
Yes.
songs
Yes.
within a score?
Correct.
So they won it for the score. You're saying the 6 notes, though, this is a specific, probably the most iconic piece of music in that score is what they're talking about?
And
yes.
if you look up on Spotify, the soundtrack, then that track's called Hand Over Bruise. And there's just that 4-minute track.
Okay, and it's just instrumental.
Just instrumental, correct.
Okay. Does it sound like Trent Reznor? Because that's what I'm starting to feel like it is.
I'm guessing.
Does it sound like 9 Inch Nails?
Maybe a little bit.
You don't know what 9 Inch Nails sounds like?
Not anything beyond like whatever I've heard on the radio.
Okay. Because Trent Reznor has a very definitive fucking sound. And it's not even his voice. It's like as soon as a beat comes on, you can be like, that's fucking Trent Reznor created that. Like, that's 100%.
It like makes you, it can make you either like really uncomfortable or really like meditative and comfortable. It's fucking really good. And, you know,
I'll look it up.
I was thinking today, I was like, you know what it kind of reminded me of? And not like in a direct sort of comparison, but just sort of, it just sort of reminded me of something that I haven't thought about in probably 15 years. There were these things in like, when I was in high school in like 06, 07, that were called iDozer. And there were these things that you could download off the internet and put on your iPod, and each track was supposed to make you feel like you're on a different drug. Like one was ecstasy, one was marijuana, one was cocaine, one was alcohol, and like had all these different drugs. And in listening to the tracks, it was supposed to make you feel the specific high of each of those drugs. And for me at the time, this was something that I was like, fucking give me all of them. And I would sit there and listen to them and try to get the effect, and it never worked. But they were called iDozer, and I looked them up, and they're like still all around and all on Spotify and stuff. And I was like, that's so weird that I even remembered what it was called. And
iDozer,
and but listening to that Hand Over Bruise, the score for that movie, I was like, you know what this is kind of like? It's kind of like those tracks we used to listen to 15 years ago.
I've never heard of that.
That was real weird. That was real crazy.
Huh. Interesting. Are you done with the movie thing? Because at the end of this, I got something to throw in.
Done. Thank you.
I saw Batman.
Oh, nice.
And did you want to refresh me on where you were at with that movie?
Well, I've seen it again. I watched it a week ago.
How do you feel about that movie?
Loved it.
Loved it?
Yeah.
Because I've talked to a few people, and there's a lot of hate. A lot of hate for that movie. You've heard the hate? Have you heard the hate?
I don't think any of the hate is backed by anything legitimate.
So I think
there's more love. There's more.
I went into it like, oh, God damn it! I know I'm not gonna like this.
Well, that's on you. That's a
no.
Way.
So and then I knew this information over and over again, and then I forget it. And then someone says something about it, and I go, oh yeah, like that. Edward was gonna be the new Batman, whatever his name is.
Yeah, Robert
Pattinson. And like that's the vibe. I was talking about it like the day before I saw it, or 2 days before I saw it, and just like, oh fuck that movie, emo Batman bullshit. You know, it's just so fucking stupid. And so I went into the movie like, I'm not gonna like this movie, and I was sick, and I'm in bed sick watching the movie, and by the end of the movie I was like, that was a great fucking movie. Like that was really well done. There's multiple things about that movie I really
Did you
like.
watch it all in one shot?
Yeah, why wouldn't I have?
I don't know. It's 3 hours long. It's hard for some people.
I can't. I can't. If I stop a movie halfway, I'm never watching that
Right,
movie ever again in
right.
my life.
Okay.
Really, man, the one hard thing for me was I've put the kid, the Riddler, whatever his name is,
Paul Dano.
what's his name? And I know because he blew up with There Will Be Blood, correct? Like,
Well,
didn't he win Best Actor for that?
I have no idea. He was
Pretty
in
sure he won Best Actor.
Little
for
Miss
There Will Be Blood.
Sunshine before that, and he'd been in some other things as a kid. He was in that movie, Girl Next Door.
I am like 99% sure he won Best Actor for that. And I remember people were like, this kid is...
He should have if he didn't.
This kid's no joke. Like,
Yeah.
this is a really good actor. So I went into the movie already hating it. Once I found out he was the Riddler, that kind of fucked with my head a little bit. Because I've now put him on a pedestal. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So now if he doesn't deliver, it kind of pisses me off. It did... Honestly, his character was my least favorite character in the whole movie. It felt... I could see him acting. You know what I mean? Like, you know, there's like, there's movies you can watch and you can see them acting. And then it's when you just get lost and you just feel like you're watching this person.
Yeah.
That's someone killing it and acting. You know what I mean? They're fucking totally selling it. I couldn't get away from, like, it was just like, I can see him acting.
Yeah.
I wasn't quite buying the Riddler. Very good. It was right on the line. It was literally like tipping back and forth between I actually think he did a really good job or it's not that good. But
I understand.
I think Pattinson did a great job as Batman.
Yeah.
What I really liked is the anti-gadget, like, superpower of Batman. How he's just essentially driving a Ducati around everywhere. And when the Batmobile actually comes out, it's not really a Batmobile. You know what I mean? It's just it's just a car. What it reminded me of is that Ken Block's car. Do you know what I'm talking about? Ken Block has that signature like black Mustang or whatever. Okay. That's like matte blacked out, and he just does all those drift courses with it. It's like the most, I don't know, probably one of the most famous cars on the planet. Okay. The Ken Block. But okay, never mind. I thought you might be like, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. That's what I swear to God, they modeled the Batmobile after Ken Block's car. And then it felt like all the driving in that could have been legitimately no CGI almost, except for the explosion. You know what I mean? Like it was just a car. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just driving around. He didn't do any of like fucking throwing anything, very little gadget stuff. And I liked that. It was more billionaire. It sold the whole billionaire. I don't know. I liked the world they painted too.
Yeah. Well, it's
nothing will ever compare to The Dark Knight. Uh-huh. It's ridiculous to compare anything to that movie. He did so good. It's standalone. It's an amazing movie. One of the top, arguably one of the top movies of all time. That's a hard thing to say, but that acting in that movie is fucking incredible. No, no one's going to say anything of the other. But the picture they painted in that movie of Gotham and what Batman is, and that was another thing. People started arguing with me over like, well, that's not comic book Batman, blah, 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 blah. I don't really give a fuck about the comic books.
Are you talking about The Dark Knight?
I'm talking about both of them kind of simultaneously.
Okay.
But, the guys I was talking to were saying like, that's not, or one guy was expressing the new Batman isn't comic book. That's not like comic book Batman. And I don't know, to me, I'm not into the comic books, but to me, the new one is more of like a fantasy world than The Dark Knight. You know what I mean? Like, I know you brought that up last time. It was just like, this is just Chicago. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You know what I mean? Where this felt everything, it was rainy, it was dark, it was, sillier. And I like that. I was like, this is great. I like how he's not really a superhero. He's kind of a bad guy a little. It's great.
Like this one, it felt just when you look at the Gotham and the Dark Knight or whatever, those movies seem so big and like just on a huge scale. Like you have the scene of like some semi truck coming down the street and like hitting something and flipping like way over, and it's like huge. And this one just felt a lot like smaller. Like a lot of these close little tiny shots of just like in a corner, or even that car chase where the camera's just like on their face in the car, not showing some huge highway, wide shot, and everything just felt kind of smaller scale, and I thought that was a lot better. I liked it. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and
That
I really
Catwoman was
liked
hot.
their...
That girl that played Catwoman in the theater, I was like, she was born for this role. She was born to play fucking Catwoman. That's my favorite Catwoman. I don't like.
I do. There was. I wasn't too irritated with it, but I definitely could pick up it because what people were saying, like Ben Shapiro and stuff before that was picking apart like all the woke shit in the movie. I didn't get the feeling like what they were saying, like it was just openly woke as fuck movie, but there was two parts that stood out that was just like, you didn't need to put that in the movie, and this is just blatant like wokeism. Like they had to put it in just to like sell themselves to the left crowd.
I don't know.
It was just she just like at one point she's just like, yeah, this straight white male, like literally just comes out and she's like, this wouldn't have been happening if it wasn't a straight white male or whatever. I'm just like, what did she just say? Like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know. I just like, why do you have to put that in the movie? It was very little, so I'm not giving a thumb down to the movie as at all. They stuck more with the movie than pushing an agenda, but there was definitely someone involved in the movie high up that's like, we're putting this fucking shit in the movie. You know that there was a meeting and they sat down and either they added it to the movie or it was in the original script, and there was definitely a movie over what's this here. And they're like, yes, we are doing this because of the climate. And if 100%, dude, you got at least admit to me.
I would like to talk to Ben Shapiro about this, because the line when she's like, let's come on, me and you, let's go get these white privileged assholes, or whatever she said. And people, and that's when I looked to my left in the theater, because I was like, I knew the audience that I was amongst in the theater, and I was like, I just wanted to see if anybody was like, or something. But I was like, but the more I thought about it, I'm like, here's the thing. Here's what I think. I think that's a fine thing to have in that movie, because I think that's something that person would say. That's something that she would say legitimately.
Good point.
Whether you agree with it or not,
point.
I think she would have. I think it makes sense that character said that. So I was like, I'm fine with it.
Good point. Lesbian, fucking.
She's bi.
Yeah.
She's bisexual.
Okay.
I think she would have said that.
Okay, no,
So,
that dude, valid fucking point. You just changed
is
my
it
mind
like
a little
if you
bit
take
right there.
take the line out, does it ruin anything, like the legitimacy of the character? No, you could take the line out and nobody would have been like, why didn't she say that? So it's like an extra. It's like an extra filler that's in there that's not needed.
But
she
kind of needed in really solidifying who the character is.
Yeah.
Good point, dog.
Thanks.
Good point. I stand corrected.
And
so thumbs up for Batman. Best Batman
God.
since The Dark Knight. That's for sure.
Thank God.
Before that, it was Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
So those are the three best Batmans.
Well, it just this week got renewed for a number. They're gonna make a number 2 with the same director.
With Pattinson.
Yep. Same cast, same director. It's probably gonna be a few years.
Well, they set it up to in the end, that he's in prison, so they set that up.
Yep.
I really liked the mob bosses. I thought those were great picks.
John Turturro.
The two guys. Yeah, like the Penguin and John Turturro or whatever. The great choice of guys.
Yeah.
They both just did so well in their character.
Did you get annoyed too much with the Nirvana music?
Not at all, dog. And
I liked it.
Fucking people picking that apart. It's like it's a great fucking song.
I liked it. I liked the song. Got stuck in my head for days after that.
I hate everybody. And people are like, I know I'm the most opinionated person on the planet, but people need to get over their fucking opinions. They're not founded in anything logical. It's like people hating on the Nirvana song. It's like, it's a good choice. It's such a good choice for the scene, for what they're painting. It's a great song. It's it fits right fucking in there.
Yeah.
Everyone's got opinions, and most of them suck ass.
I will say that, like, I went into it already liking it, and then throughout the whole movie, I struggled comparing it to the Dark Knight the whole time. That's all I could think about. But I think if I'm going to be honest with myself, I was a little let down by the Riddler, and that's just because of the bar that is there. One, for the actor that they chose to do it. So, I don't know. So, I agree with sort of what you were saying. I was like a little let down with it, but overall, I wasn't let down with the movie at all. So, it's weird.
Yeah, yep.
And it's not like, it doesn't take anything away from the actor, Paul Dano, because, I mean, Robert De Niro has done shit roles. And this wasn't a shit role. It was just the bar was so high. So, I don't know.
Yeah, that's where I honestly think the movie as a whole would have been better if they cast a No Name for the Riddler.
Maybe.
I think they should have.
I hope maybe we get more of him. And he was also, for, 75% of the movie, you're basically watching like a recording of him with a mask on. So it was very weird. You're watching him like on a phone.
I didn't know he was in the movie. I'm assuming you went into the movie knowing he was the Riddler.
I probably told you he was in the movie maybe a dozen times. But I didn't. I was aware.
See, I didn't know that. So it literally came as a shock when he was unmasked. And I'm like, oh shit, it's that kid. It's like, Jesus. I didn't see that coming. Okay. Are you going to keep talking, or I got a phone call?
I'll keep talking. Jesus Christ. Dude, this guy and his fucking ringtones, dude. Oh, okay, everybody. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. Eric told me before the show he had a call to take during the show, and I said, that's fine, I'll just keep talking because I can. Dude, I'm so glad that it's, nice weather here now. Thank God, because these past 2 weekends were just fucking hell. Just fucking hell. And now I'm off to Idaho in a week. Gonna be there for about 10 days. It's gonna be there for Mother's Day, which is good. I got a Mother's Day gift I bought, and it's all ready to go. Get to see a bunch of my favorite people, and just hang out there for a while. It's been a long time. It's been a year since I've been there, which is crazy. This fall for me got all kind of clusterfucked with going to Tampa Bay and going to California and getting my car hit in a targeted, calculated, attempted murder on me when the pregnant lady veered right into me. So the fall was kind of a shit show, and I never made it back to Idaho. So now I get to go back and hang out for 10 days and, just sort of hopefully just reset mentally, physically, and, hang out for a little bit. I'm glad Eric liked Batman. I wasn't prepared. I'm not mentally prepared right now for him to come in here talking shit about Batman. I probably would have just rolled over and just taken it because I'm not. So thank God that he liked it. Thank God. I recently did my Sopranos rewatch, and I'm done with it. Woo! So now I'm free to watch whatever I'd like. It's good. When I'm in the middle, when I'm doing like a Sopranos rewatch, which is a lot of watching, a lot of television, I'm a slave to it, and I can't watch anything else, and I just have to fucking power through every day. But now I'm done with it. Now I can watch whatever I want. Oh, I did. Yes, the other day I watched a Twilight Zone episode that for some reason I had been thinking about. And I might even want to tell Eric about it once he's done with his phone call. Busy man, Eric Beavers. Getting phone calls. Here's my phone sitting. Nobody wants to text Brad or call Brad. And Eric's phone is just blowing up constantly with cat noises and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia ringtones. But I watched a Twilight Zone episode the other day I might want to tell him about. It's my favorite Twilight Zone episode that I've seen. It was like 2 years ago. I watched a bunch of the Twilight Zone. It was on Netflix, and I didn't make it all the way through, but I made it through a lot of episodes, and they're just so enjoyable. They're so ahead of their time, and I mean, this came out in like 1962, and it was way ahead of its time. The episode I watched the other day was released in 1962. It was good. So I don't know if I want to explain it to him or not. It's a weird one. It's like each Twilight Zone episode is like there's it makes you think about stuff you've never thought about, but the ones I was finding, there's not some like overall big point to it that like stays with you forever that you're like, like a good movie can do. So they're like meaningful, but like not that meaningful. I don't know. It is what it is. It is what it is. So thankfully, The Sopranos rewatch is done. Don't know what I'm going to watch next. I've downloaded literally about 20 movies that I need to watch. And I can do about one a day. But I'm it's still a lot. That's still a lot. That's 20 fucking days. And here's what I'll say. I got something else to say. I think lately I've lent out a lot of money to friends. And you're not allowed to complain about it if you lend out money to friends. You're not allowed to bitch about it. But it's not the best thing to do. And I don't care. Like, you always just have to tell yourself at the end of the day, it's just money. Like, it's just money. There's no point in like really getting upset about money. It's just money. It's not, at the end of the day, when you're lying on your deathbed, you're not going to be thinking about money. Nobody's going to be. Nobody's going to be like, man, I wish I would have worked a little more overtime. I wish I would have spent a little more time at the office in my life. You know what I mean? So my relationships with the people that I've lent money to are far more valuable to me than the money that's been lent by miles, right? And the thing that I always ask myself is like, would they do the same for me? And I know that they would. And it's all fine. I have zero hard feelings about it. It's just kind of like I wish I didn't have to do this, but it's all for good causes. And I just think, and it's like when you're watching The Sopranos, it's like they'll lend money out to somebody, but then they'll charge them, interest on it. And it's like that makes more sense. Like if you're loaning someone like $1,000 and they have to pay you back like $1,200, then it's like, okay, that's worth more of your time and you just not having that liquid money for that time frame because you're getting something out of it. But you're not going to do that to a friend. Like, if your brother or something asks you for some help with money, you're not going to be like, I'm going to charge you fucking 20% interest. Like, no. Be like, yes, okay, here you go, because you would do the same for me. And it's not like it's just bums on the street that are asking for help. It's you're talking about the two people that I've lent money to. I'm 30. I've known for 24, 23 years. That's basically family at that point. When you're 30 years old, you've known someone for 24 years. My God. But maybe in the future, maybe I need to think about it more. Maybe I need to be more hesitant to just do it, to just loan out the money. But I know people will pay me back. The problem that really happened was that these loans that I gave out to people all happened at the same time. The IRS came and fucking just punched me in the face and then pushed me down and started kicking me, as fucking putting the boots to me right in the ribs. Boom! Boom! And the IRS came and took the money that they wanted for taxes to send to the Ukraine and just fucking put the boots to me. And then as I was, crawling down the street begging for help, that's when the people said, can you please help me out with a loan and I'll pay you back in a month? And it's like, yeah, okay. After I'm laying there bloody, broken and bruised. So it all just sort of culminated at the same time. Yo,
what's up, dog? Sorry if I'm cutting you off, and
No,
sorry,
you're good.
guys. I don't know if he explained it, but I had to talk to Schwab about some tires. And so it was very important that I take that phone call. My
no,
truck
you're
is
good. I
sitting
should
there.
have been more prepared with what I was going to go off on, but I figured it out.
Okay. Do you need any more time to go off on that, or are you good to go?
No, I'll just say, in the spirit of what we've been discussing, like 2 years ago, I watched a bunch of Twilight Zones, and I was thinking about one. I was thinking
I
about
love that show.
one that I had watched 2 years ago that for some reason I was thinking about the other day, and I'll just call it my favorite one that I watched. And it's
Okay, what happened in it?
I think it's called The Silence, and it's where in the beginning, and these are only like 25 minutes long, and they fit a lot into 25 minutes. There's a bunch of guys in a bar, and one man, there's a really rich man and a really poor man, and the poor man is just talking and talking and talking and won't shut up, and the rich man's sitting there like looking at him, and he's just like, God, I hate this fucking guy, and the poor man's just talking and talking, and the rich man's like, hey, I have a wager to offer you. I own this bar. Under this bar, we'll put up a room. We'll put microphones in it. We'll get food delivered. If you stay down there for 1 year and don't speak a word for a year, I'll give you $500,000 because I don't like you, and I hate hearing you talk. And I would appreciate a year to hang out in this bar and not have to listen to you. That's how much I don't like you. And the poor man was like, all right, I'll take your wager. So then the poor man's living down in this room for a whole year, getting food delivered and whatnot, and he's like wearing a scarf, and he's all dressed up to the nines the whole time, and he goes 6 months past, 7 months past, and the poor man hasn't spoken a word in 6 or 7 months, and the rich man starts sweating about this and getting nervous because then you start to realize this rich man is actually like dead broke, and he's sort of just living a facade or whatever, and he doesn't have the money to pay off this bet. But the poor man is following through with this, and he's going to hit the year, and he's going to have to get paid $500,000 for this wager. And the rich man's like, I'll give you $1,000 to quit right now. I'll give you $5,000 to quit right now. Like, don't you miss your wife? Like, she's been out on the town while you're down here, and you're missing springtime, and you're missing your girlfriend or whatever, and you're missing out on life. I'll give you $5,000. And the poor man's like, no, we've made it 7 months. I'm sticking this out. And then it gets to the end of the bet. The poor man puts his hand out and is like, pay me my $500,000. And the rich man's like, you discovered me. I don't have the money. I'm dead broke. Like, I will never come back to this bar. I'm been living a lie. Like, you totally ruined me with this. And then you find out that the poor man he takes off his scarf and he had his vocal cords surgically removed like a year ago. And it was like they were both tricking each other for this bet. I don't know. It's a good episode.
I don't think I saw that one.
That's a good
But I
one.
did go on a bender for months to where that's all I watched was Twilight.
It's
Twilight
ahead of its
Zone.
time.
It was amazing. It's such a good show.
Yeah.
Still to this day holds up. It's great.
Yeah, it does.
So because we just brought the truck thing up, I mean it's not that interesting, but it was pretty lame. I got a call the other day. I'm out in Scappoose, which is like 45 minutes away, and I'm out there working, and Cheyenne calls and she's like, I got a flat tire.
Oof.
It's like, okay. And she's like, yeah, the tire's off the rim. And I'm like, the tire's off the rim? And she's just like, yeah, tire's off the rim. I'm like, how the fuck did you do that? So anyways, I drive 4 o'clock, I leave, something like that, maybe a hair before 4. Go to the truck, pick up the kids and her. They pulled off into an Applebee's parking lot. And I pull up, and yeah, tires fucking straight up off the rim. She was driving on a fucking rim. And it's like, oh my God. And so pick up all the kids, get them, go to the house, drop them off at the house, grab all my fucking car changing shit, because it's so much easier to do with nice big tools than it is to do with their little change and stuff they supply in the truck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I grab a big jack, like a floor, like a shop jack.
Yeah.
Grab that. Grab actual real wrenches and shit, which I'm glad I did because I was doing it with the star, or not. It's not a star. It's like just a little L one that comes with the truck, and I fucking almost snapped it. Like it started bending and the paint started peeling on it, and I'm like, well, I'm really glad I brought the other stuff. So, anyways, yeah, had to do that at fucking. Didn't get home, didn't get it all said and done until fucking 7 o'clock. 6:30, 7 o'clock at night. It was lame. It was not a good night. So anyways, the truck has been on a spare, and I know it's not that interesting, but
Jeez.
But she said that what is weird is she said she was just going down the fucking street, just straight fucking street, and she said the tire light came on, and then she pulled up to a red light, and then she said when she started to go after the red light, it like felt sluggish.
Yeah.
And then fucking 500 feet down the road, she said it just fucked.
Damn.
Yeah, I don't know how I've never had a tire just.
I've had it, and I have a picture of
I've had
this.
a flat tire.
Well,
but
yeah.
it doesn't just go. 100. Not from 1 minute fine to the next minute off the fucking rim. Like that's insane.
I mean, I had it where there was like half a tire left over.
Yeah.
But that's because I
drive.
had to get to a flat spot. I was going up a hill, and I had to get to the top of the hill. So I was like, I got to keep going. And it was like half a tire left.
What do you mean half a tire left? Like
it started halfway? It started to shred. Because I was driving on a flat tire.
It started to shred?
Yeah. I have a picture of it somewhere. And then I called my boss. I was like, hey, you got to come help me change this tire.
Was this a truck?
Yeah. Heavy.
Was it a retread?
I have no idea.
Like, was the tread coming off of the tire?
It was a company truck. Oh, yeah. I think so. I mean, it was like half a tire left.
Because old trucks, like farm truck type trucks, like those tires, when they fucking wear down so far, they retread them instead of making a new tire. There's like a new tire on top of that tire. And so what happens is the retreads will fucking start fucking coming up. I've had that happen. They'll like come apart and it'll be like flap, 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 flap.
Yeah.
But yeah. This was just a flat tire and the fucking tire came off of the rim. Like it wasn't shredding. It was here's the rim and here's the fucking tire. Like.
Well, you'll see them on the side of the road.
But semis get that. They do retreads. That's why you see those strips of semi tires. You know what I mean? Just on the side of the freeway. Because that's what'll happen is the retread will come out and thwap, 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 thwap. And then it just... But the tire's still intact. Like, they're still driving down the road on a tire. It just has no more tread on it.
Jesus. Yeah, I hate a flat tire.
Yeah, yep. So, man, so much has happened. Last weekend, I watched the TED Talk with Elon.
Oh, yeah.
And, man, I had so much to say. Did you watch it?
No, but saw it. I saw it existed.
Like
but I didn't
clips or whatever?
No, I haven't seen any of it. It's just him sitting in a room?
No, well, I don't think he was supposed to be at this TED Talk. But, so the way there's a guy like emceeing the event, the TED Talk. And they do a section of where he's like, I went and sat down with Elon and we made this movie. Or this YouTube video or whatever. And he's like, after this TED Talk, we're going to post this on our YouTube channel. And they're like, we're only going to show you 5 minutes of it, but he's like, you can watch the full 20-minute thing on YouTube after this, blah, blah, blah. And then they do that, and he's like, well, actually, I'm pretty sure he's like, we didn't know until today, but Elon's actually flew up, and he's going to join us here today for the TED Talk. And he's like, so, without further ado, I introduce to you Elon Musk, and then he comes out on the stage and then it's not a normal TED Talk. It's the MC is sitting in a chair. Then they bring out 2 chairs, and they're just sitting there, and he just interviews Elon Musk. And they talk about what the YouTube thing was about, because the YouTube thing had nothing to do with Twitter. It was about Tesla and, that shit. And then they talk about that for a minute, but then he's like, it'd be wrong of me not to ask about the Twitter thing, because at this point in time, he had just, I think, tweeted that he wanted to buy Twitter. It was in the beginning stages of this. Like, he hadn't already bought it, It was like the first hint that this was about to happen. And then they talk about that shit. But, man, and now that the week has passed and you're seeing the internet freak out, either, super pro Elon or super anti Elon.
Yeah.
Dude, when I watched that TED Talk, I was inspired at the end of it.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like the Rogan Elon. It was very much a very inspirational speech that he gave. And it was only 20% about Twitter. It was mainly about, because they talk about, he brings up his childhood, and he's like, you had he's like, that, you hinted on this on SNL that you had Asperger's, and he's like, can we get into that a little bit? And so he talks about his childhood, and he's like, yeah, he's like, he said in the TED Talk, he's like, I was never able to tell social cues. He's like, I've never understood. He's like, it was really hard for me as a kid. And he's like, because of that, he's like, I could never tell if people were joking, or anything like that. He's like, I have Asperger's. He's like, I take everything extremely literal. So when you say anything, he's like, I'm taking it. And he's like, so I never was good at social shit. So he's like, what made sense to me was books. And he's like, so that's all I fucking did. Is I just read and read and read. And he's like, and then I got good at coding. And he's like, coding got me really excited. And then, blah, 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 so on and so forth. And,
wow.
But like, he really gets into, it's cool. The whole Asperger's thing was a cool thing for him to talk about. And then, but then when he talks it, then they get into Tesla. And just his passion, and it is obviously true, in my opinion. This is pre-Twitter thing, but I am biased a bit on the whole Twitter thing, which is a separate thing. But I believe him. Like, I believe what he's saying. I believe that he really is passionate about these things. Like, he is passionate about creating 2 things. One, but really just what he perceives as the best thing for humankind, which is getting away from fossil fuels in a completely electric future and space travel.
Yeah.
Dominating space travel. I wasn't on the edge of tears, but I was like moved by his speech. I was like, no, I was like, dude, this is a genuine person here. I felt good about the speech. I was like, this person is not pushing a political agenda at all. He literally just believes that he can do it, and he's going to do it, and he's going to do everything he can to accomplish what he wants to. And it's just beautiful. He has like the American dream of a life. You know what I mean? Just literally accomplished what he wants to accomplish. He's accomplished it. He's a fucking genius, obviously.
He's an African American.
Then at the end of it, they're like, well, it'd be wrong for us not to talk about Twitter. And then that whole speech, man, it's just beautiful. It's a fucking beautiful speech he gives on Twitter, and it's the same thing we've been seeing hashed out on the internet. But, he's just like, I really disagree that Twitter hides their algorithms, that you don't know what they're doing. And he's like, they won't tell you what they're doing. They won't tell you when things get demoted or promoted. There's nothing. It's just hit all behind closed doors shit. And he's like, it needs to be open source. He's like, that's BS that a company has this much power, and they are everyone keeps using the town square. He's like, they are the town square of the modern society. And he's like, how can you trust a program that isn't open source, or they won't even tell you when they delete someone's account, like why they're doing it. You know what I mean? It's like everything's just behind closed doors. He's like, that's BS. And he's like, I want to buy it. I want to make everything open source, everything. And he's like, and then they get in, the guy asks, well, what about dangerous tweets? Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I get it. And he's like, yes, if there obviously needs to be mitigation on things need to get deleted, but he's like, I want it to be the general rule that if you're in a gray area of censoring something and not censoring something, always side with not censoring it. Just let free speech always dominate. Then after that whole spiel, I was like, this is fucking beautiful. Like, we don't deserve this human being. Like, we're all pieces of shit.
Yeah.
And he is legitimately the dude, one of the best human beings on the planet. Fucking
Yeah.
I to me, maybe I'm being totally duped, but I don't see, it does not seem insincere to me. It seems like he is like a Mother Teresa type figure for the world. And the fact that people, I mean, whatever you want to get into about the battery shit, I would really love for him to like go toe to toe with someone like on a Joe Rogan type situation where they're talking shit about battery processes, because you see all that shit. And I've never really seen him address that. You know what I mean? Like how much it takes to create a battery.
Right.
You know what I mean? Is it really that sustainable? You know, but anyways, and obviously everyone knows that's listening to this, but then ever since the Twitter buyout, so he bought Twitter, people are fucking freaking out. And it really just pulls me right back into hate. Just so much fucking hate. Because I can't believe it. It's like, you know, there's a few individuals on my Facebook that are very left-leaning. And I never engage them, but I just kind of sit back and watch. There's two people. One guy is this way old guy in Sandpoint, way old guy. And he is crazy liberal. And it's like, it's just obvious to me. It's like, okay, you're getting very old and all you're doing is watching CNN like literally all day long. And so you're just getting like hyped up on these talking points and you just start posting shit.
Yeah.
And like you have just fallen for clickbait shit all the time.
Just repeating.
Then there's this other guy who I really like. And he's very popular. I don't want to give too much information because I really don't want any beef with him, or I don't want to call him out at all. But he's a very popular guy, and he's very involved in the metal scene, like metal music scene. You know what I mean? Like that's his group of people. And I would say metal people in general are very liberal. You know what I mean? Like that scene of people is more liberal than the only people that are going to be more liberal than them is like, you know, hardcore Portland hippies. You know what I mean? Like, it's and that's a weird little side subject is that I kind of want to get into is metalheads. Like, it's just weird. But anyways, both these people over the week, I've been watching them, and they are just tearing into Elon. And the general argument you're seeing online is, you know, with $44 billion, you could end world poverty.
I know.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
And I just think that's the fucking most retarded argument I have ever heard in my life. Like, this is exactly like that. This topic is the perfect topic of what splits a Republican and a Democrat at their core. Is liberals literally they're just trying to make this fantasy world that is never going to exist. You know what I mean? It's like they're not taking into consideration people are shitty at a base level. You know what I mean? Like if you leave, if there's an East and a West, someone in them is going to be fighting. It is a truth with humans. That's who we are. You're never going to get away from that. So if he goes out and pays for everyone's meals and rent that's on the street right now for it over the whole world, pays their rent for 1 year and pays all their food for 1 year. What the fuck is that going to solve? You know what I mean? I guarantee you in this fantasy you're living in 1 year, there's going to be more people on the streets in 1 year's time than there was and you just wasted $44 billion. And then not only that, if that's the answer, if that's the number, so you're saying $44 billion, you can end world poverty?
Yeah.
You know how easily the American taxpayer could come up with $44 billion?
Yeah, it's nothing.
In a fucking heartbeat. It's not that much money. Yes, that is a lot of money, but for what our budget is as a country, that's fucking chump change.
Yeah.
That's literally like, okay, let's make end world poverty. Like, shut the fuck up. You think like in the Congo or down in Africa where shit's still like child trafficking and shit, you think you're just going to go into these villages and give them money and fucking everything's going to be fine? No, you go into any country, Brazil, even Mexico, you go to these places and lift up a bunch of poverty, gangs are going to fucking come in, steal all their shit and it's going to be worse off for like, it's just a la la land you're living in. Like, I just don't get that. The most honorable thing he could be doing for this world is exactly what he's doing. And you want to shit all over him. What?
Yeah.
I don't even understand it. It's like, you guys are fucking, it's bullshit. It makes me so mad. Like, dude, come on. Don't hate on Elon. Like, I get it. I understand the fuck the billionaires thing. But Elon has a really good track record with humanity, with humanitarian work. You know what I mean? Like, he's not just talking. He's fucking doing, and like, yeah, but he doesn't need to make profits like that. But the more profit he makes, the more he can accomplish. Yeah. So what do you fucking want from him? Like, it doesn't make any sense. If he doesn't make enough money, he can't create a car company that can compete with Ford, Chevy, and Dodge.
Yeah.
So he has to be making a lot of money to compete. There hasn't been a car company that started and been successful for over 100 years. It's a brutal market to get into.
Yeah.
He fucking did it, and he did it really well, and he's doing it with the intention of trying to save the world. And then, 5 years ago, Elon's the man. All liberals fucking loving Elon. And fucking SpaceX, yeah, let's go to Mars. Fucking, I want to buy Twitter and fucking make it less left-leaning. Fuck that rich piece of shit.
Yeah.
Fuck him. He should be ending world poverty. Like, what the fuck are you talking about right now? Like, I get hating, like, the Amazon guy. Like, I mean, but that's another thing is like, yeah, but y'all fucking love your Amazon packages. Like, you're all full of shit. Like, all of you that are, like, bitching about shit, you're the problem. You're the piece of shit. All you're doing is sitting on the sidelines and virtue signaling everyone else that you did nothing to create or contribute to the world, and you're just like, fuck Elon Musk, and you could fix the world with 44 billion. Go fuck yourself. You're a piece of shit. Sorry, I got heated there, but I am passionate about it.
Well, I'm pretty sure all those COVID stimulus bills were way more than $44 billion. What did that do? Nothing.
Yeah, how much money was that? Let's say, let's even go a smaller number. Let's just say $2,000 times how many? 230 million people?
It's 350. Don't know where you got 230. Yeah, I don't know if that counts kids.
Okay, let's go 200 million.
Yeah.
200 million. That's that's $400 trillion. 400 billion.
I was gonna say this is not 400 trillion. If that was the case, we did our math wrong.
Yeah. Sorry. There's a
billion.
lot of zeros there ahead. $400 billion. So
it's probably a lot more than that too.
So with this theory that you fucking are gonna end world poverty, like, shut the fuck up. We just spent so much money, and all it did was buy half the population a new gun and the other half the population a new fucking bicycle. So shut the fuck up. Like, I
don't know. Yeah, and people are like, why doesn't he take that $44 billion and do something for the environment? And someone else is like, oh, you mean like build electric cars? I wish we could give him. I think the biggest problem with Elon is that he doesn't have enough time in the day. And I think if we could somehow give Elon like 30 hours in the day when the rest of us have 24, like, we could help ourselves out a lot. I think, I don't know
if we ever get the chance to clone someone or something like that, he needs to be the front of the list. Like, dump all your money into giving him a second life, or if whatever, if it's going to cost $300 trillion and one person gets to live an extra 100 years, that person Elon Musk should be the person we choose.
Yes.
Because of what he's going to accomplish.
Yes. It'll save the species. I like him. So I really don't have anything bad to say about him. I guess here's the one problem is that you're putting a face to, there's a face behind everything. Like with Jeff Bezos, like with Elon Musk, you have someone to attack. That's why they're not going to attack like Bank of America for anything, because it's a faceless thing. So as an individual, like Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk, you're going to get attacked, just like Martin Luther King did. But there's like a lot of like that Occupy Wall Street, the brilliant thing that they did was they didn't have a leader. So Elon Musk is the leader behind himself and his actions. So he's an easy target.
Yeah,
because
literally up until he bought Twitter, he was loved by everybody.
Yeah.
Just like, yeah, this guy's awesome. And then, you're going to let Alex Jones and these people back on Twitter? You're a fucking piece of shit. You know that?
Yeah.
It's like...
I saw some girl calling him a supervillain. Like, he's a supervillain. Like, yeah, okay.
I don't fucking get it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand. And yeah. I don't know what it is. Is it CNN? Is that the fucking problem? I don't get it. I don't get what gives people this position.
Yeah.
Like, where are they getting this from? Where are they getting this, like, self-righteous, this, okay, the metalhead thing. There's multiple metalheads, this kid I'm talking about included. Fucking all they do is just sit and pick music apart. We'll just sit and talk. And like with metalheads, it makes me even more mad. It's like all I see is, especially when it comes to music, when they're talking about other genres of music, like the Beatles, for instance, or something like that, they'll just tear it apart. Just, that's, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, to me, it's like the classic, like, little dick syndrome, or, like, overcompensating for shit. It's like, your music sucks so bad that you got to just take it out on everybody else's music. You know what I mean? Like, if you love your music so much, why do you care if people are listening to the Beatles? You know what I mean? But they will go out of their way to tell you how shitty the Beatles are. You know what I mean? And how, or whatever, have the strongest opinions on like all these bands that are tried and true and like anything popular. No, they're fucking, they're emo kid. They're, what's the word I'm looking for? Not emo. They're scene kids or hipsters. They're fucking hipsters. You know what I mean? It's like, if anybody likes it, they gotta not like it. If it's cool, no, we're not into it.
Yeah, definitely that.
But then when it comes to political views, it's the same fucking shit. They just sit on the sidelines, they don't contribute anything. Nothing is contributed, but we'll sit there and fucking, that's fucked up, and this is fucked up, and these people are pieces of shit, and this is a piece of shit, and blah, blah, blah. Just, I was so opinionated about everything. And it's like, you're not doing shit. Just shut the fuck up. Stop.
Well, the metalheads that I've met, I loved. They were extremely, like, lovable, great people. And I enjoyed having these long debates and conversations with them and telling them that the music that they're listening to sucks, and then having long conversations about music. In my experience, I've enjoyed the company of them. I don't like a lot of their music, and they'll talk shit about Metallica for like 2 hours, and the more hardcore metal you can get, the more they're going to like it, and, stuff like that. I enjoy the conversations. But you're right, if anything's popular, they fucking hate it. They just like Slayer and Megadeth.
Well, and I will say, most of the time, they are extremely nice people.
Yeah, they're very sweet people, it seems like.
But I feel like that comes with the terror. They're like new hippies. You know what I mean? Like very nice to your face. You know what and I'm sorry to overgeneralize, but I really do believe it. Like they're very nice to your face because they don't want confrontation. But as soon as they're in a group, they're very much about confrontation. You know what I mean? As soon as they feel like they dominate a space, They love making you feel small. You know what I mean? Like they're fucking, they really are. They like have the worst little dick syndrome.
Yeah.
And they're so, I'm sorry to say it, because I really do have multiple friends that I really like, but it's like they're worse than hipsters or scene kids, and they don't even realize it. It's like, dude, you realize how scene you are. Like, the fucking patches all over that you can't read.
Yeah.
And just the more abstract of a band you can find, you think you're cooler for finding that band.
Yeah.
Dude, aren't we out of high school already?
There's
you know
a
what I
lot of
mean?
that.
Like, it's so stupid. And then then you bring up like Elon. It's like, no, fucking billionaires, dude. They're just out for themselves and fucking capitalistic blah 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 blah. It's like, okay, whatever.
One of them that I knew wanted me to buy a Quran for them because they didn't want to be put on a watch list with the FBI, and they wanted a Quran. So they're like, I'll give you the money, you go buy a Quran, which is like the Islamic Bible or something like that, because they didn't want to be on a watch list. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that. And then another one approached me in Roxy's, a bar in Sandpoint, like, I don't even know, 10 years ago, and said that like 5 years before that, I had said something to him that he hadn't forgot, and that he was really, didn't sit well with him. And I was like, what did I say? And he's like, you said that people that like metal only like it because like they're not accepted anywhere else and they're looking for a family. And I was like, I don't remember saying that. And I'm like, that sounds kind of like something I might have said, but I'm like, that could apply to everything. That you could apply that to everything. So I was like, I'm sorry I said that, but you could say the same thing.
I'll take that and fucking run with it, because
you could say the same thing about country music or Dungeons and Dragons. Like,
they're the fucking nerds, dude. They're the nerds that got made fun of.
They're very nerdy.
It just switched out of it, and they're like, we're fucking hardcore, bro. Yeah. And like the fucking hardcore dancing, go fuck yourself. It's so stupid to me. Like, it's so childish. It's so dumb.
Well, it's
so fucking dumb. And I know I'm super biased to it. Got punched in the face. I don't fucking like it, and I don't fit in there. But like, that's the problem. Like, they're fucking pussies. They're fucking pussies.
No,
and they act so hardcore. I fucking hate it.
The ones I've met, I liked. I can say.
And they're not, dude, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you guys like metal. I'm sorry for so many people I'm offending right now. I just really do have a problem with music. And I really know where this stems from. Is when I broke up with that girl that I was super fucking into, and it broke my heart when I was 21, 22. Went to a show. She was starting to go around, and I know she was fucking all these metalhead dudes behind my back. So I was already harboring this anti-metalhead rhetoric in my head.
Yes.
And then we went to Spokane one night, and on the drive there, we had 5 people in the car. Me and her start fighting in front of all of her friends.
That's real
And
fun.
I'm getting fucking mad in this car. We get to the concert. I'm like, and they're all underage, and I'm 21, 22. They're all like 19, and so they can't drink. So I go up to the upper deal right when we get to this music venue, start fucking pounding drinks because I'm fucking pissed. Then I go down. I have glass bottles. I go down in the mosh pit. And they're all fucking leaving me alone to talk, I'm sure, talking about how much of a piece of shit I am. And I am just getting mad. Maybe. So I go down into the pit. And this is one of my first, I'd been to a few metal shows, but the band that was on, local band, was actually pretty good. And I was getting into it. Very double bassy. I was digging the fucking double bass shit going on. Like, yeah. And, people are starting to do whatever, but it's pretty dead. And I'm standing there, and I'm like 15 feet back from the stage, and like some kids are starting to do their little hardcore thing, and I'm just standing there. And I know I kind of provoked it a little bit, but I like stood there, and he had plenty of room, and I'm like, I ain't fucking moving. Like, you have so much room, and there's only 15 people in this entire dance floor. And I'm giving you plenty of space over there to go do yours. And he just kept slowly working his way back to me. doing his fucking swinging his fucking arms around, doing his stupid little fucking kicks. And I just stood there, and then he just kept backing into me. And then he turned, and we made eye contact, and he like made eye contact with me on the back, and then he just backhands me in the fucking nose and drew blood. Like blood just pops out of my nose. And beer flies out, bottle breaks on the ground. I fucking snap. Fucking run up to the kid, shove him in. Fuck you, go off. Fuck you, motherfucker. And then all these dudes fucking get up in my face. Now it's 5 versus 1. And I'm just like, fuck this kid. And the music's still playing. We're just screaming at each other. I'm like, fuck. I'm like wiping blood off my nose. I'm like, fuck you, man. Like, fucking blah, blah, blah. This old guy comes up to me and he like, hey, dude, calm down. And takes me out to the back. And I was like, man, fuck that kid. And he's like, yeah, that was a little uncalled for, blah, blah. So I'm standing by the door. Song ends. Band's done. And then the fucking dudes all walk by me. And I'm just like standing there. And they all walk by me and we all fucking make eye contact. 3 guys. There's like a group of 3 guys that you can tell like they're all friends. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And they all go walking by. And I look at them, don't say anything. They walk right by a hallway. And they get to the end of the hallway and he's like, fuck you. And then fucking, okay, I walk up to him and the dude, actually it was his 2 friends did it. And the dude that I had originally pushed, he's still in the mosh pit, like looking at me. I walk up to his friends and I start going, I'm like, dude, he fucking intentionally just decked me in the face. Like, that was not dancing. That was him being a fucking douchebag. And they're like, yeah, we're sorry, man, blah, blah, blah. Then all 3 of them are out. It's nighttime and like reality sets in and the alcohol kind of dies down a little bit. Adrenaline dies down. And I'm like, I'm in downtown Spokane right now, essentially by myself. And I've just pissed off a whole group of fucking people. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I could get stabbed right now. Like this could fucking happen. And then, then I was like, I better be more careful where I'm at. Cause like once I went outside, I'm like kind of in a dark hidden alley thing. I'm like, I better not be hiding in a dark alley.
Yeah. You're like Batman.
But really that whole situation and the fact that I'm pretty sure she was fucking all these metalhead dudes.
Yes. That's what it is.
I have real hate in my heart. Like, and I know it's a bias. It is a bias. I try to let go of but I can't get over it. Metal music sucks. Hardcore dancing's fucking stupid, and they're all over opinionated and super into virtue signaling. And they're all ugly nerds, is what they are. People that were popular don't listen to metal music because they like good music, and they don't need to hide behind this weird. I'm dark and mysterious. They're emo kids. Like there's emo kids and metalheads. They're the same fucking people. Same fucking people.
I'm closer to emos than the metalheads.
I'm closer to emo too. But you can look back in high school and look at the emo phase and like, oh, that was pretty cringy. You know what I mean? Like that's a pretty cringy subject.
Yeah.
But yet these 35-year-old fucking metalheads are still out there.
Right.
Fucking, I got my ripped jacket, bro. I'm fucking, it's like.
Yeah,
dude.
that's weird. But then the emo kids that had the high school
They
phase,
all grew up. They all have jobs now.
Yeah.
They're all dental hygienists. Fucking, they all cut their hair. Fucking got normal clothes. Metalhead kid. Dude, even the gangsters grew up, dude. Like all the gangster wigger kids. They're fucking, They all pulled their pants up, took their Jordans off, got a pair of fucking running shoes, looking normal.
I still
Metalhead kids?
Yeah.
Metalhead kids? No, dude.
Yeah,
still wearing Vans from 10 years ago with a fucking hole in the toe. They got fucking jeans. Yeah, long goatee, hair pulled back, ponytail going on.
Yeah.
Our crazy beard. You know what I mean? Completely unkept. Like, no.
Yeah. Cry of the Blackbirds by Amon Amarth and Infected by Demon Hunter, 2 metal songs that are in my playlist that I love.
Well, and see, I do like metal music, but if you say that to a metalhead and they're like, oh, what do you like? I'm like, I like Tool. They're like, oh, you fucking, bro, dude, that's fucking garbage music, bro. And it's like, it's really good. I don't know what you're talking about. Danny Carey is one of the greatest drummers on the fucking planet.
You just have to say Slayer. That's the only answer.
No, it's got to be some stupid aborted fetus bleeding, whatever. Like just some weird ass name.
Hail Satan.
Yeah. Sorry about my metalhead tangent. Sorry.
It's okay.
I'm sorry. Have you ever noticed, is this common knowledge that men's sweatshirts zip up from the right side and women's sweatshirts zip up from the left side? Did you know this? I said this to my girl the other day and she's like, what? And I'm like, am I the only one that knew this?
Is that true?
Men's zippers. Yes.
Why?
But because she got me a jacket from On, and they're from Switzerland company, and I'm like, is this a woman's jacket? And she's like, what are you talking about? She's like, no, it's a man's jacket. I got you a men's coat. And I'm like, yeah, but the zipper's on the left side. And she's like, the fuck does that mean? I'm like, all women's zippers are on the like zipper that will not come off is on the left side on a women's, and on a man's it's always on the right side. And and we were sitting there talking about it, then I Google it, and it's, there's a bunch of things on it, and they're saying, it seems like no one knows what the deal is, but now it's like a set in stone type of thing. But one of the theories is for breastfeeding for some reason. And it's buttons too. Buttons go, when you do a button, don't you grab the button with this hand, and then this shirt, you button through this way. The button's on this hand, is on your right hand.
Yeah.
And then you stick it through the hole on your left hand.
Yes.
Women's are the exact opposite. They're going to grab the button with their left hand and button it through their right hand. And they say, for some reason, that has to do with breastfeeding.
Can't you breastfeed off of both breasts?
But you're going to, I think, yeah, and you want to breastfeed off both breasts because then you'll get a boob smaller than the other boob.
Interesting. I have no idea. That's news to me. That's fascinating, though. So are you walking around right now, town, wearing a woman's sweatshirt? Maybe.
Boom. But I guess the Swiss don't give a fuck about that because they make their men's jackets. Because we checked it. It's a men's jacket I have, but the zipper's on the left side. But I was like, this is the first jacket I've ever had where the zipper's on the left. Unless I borrow a woman's jacket.
Right. That's very weird. So over the past 2 weekends with the crazy snow and blizzard and, life-threatening conditions and power loss and people not being able to leave their homes and grocery stores having no food on the shelves and other things that you've had to deal with if you live in North Dakota. Where the roads were so bad people couldn't leave their homes for like a couple days. So people before the storm stocked up, right? And then the storm happened, and then a week went by, and then another storm happened, so it happened all over again. So there was a lot of people that didn't stock up on food, and I'm a part of a lot of Facebook groups, so there were people being like, are there any restaurants open? Can someone get to the grocery store for me? And before the storm, when people were stocking up, it was like, what stores still have milk available? We want to stock up on milk. Like, there's no milk here. Can we go there? Is there milk there? Then during the storm, is there anyone that can go to the store and get milk for us, for our family? We need milk. And I'm like, who the fuck is buying milk? Even when the weather is perfect outside, people are always bitching about the price of a gallon of milk. If you're buying milk, if you're drinking a glass of just milk, I would be more comfortable to see someone tying off than sitting there drinking a glass of milk. I have changed veterinarians before for my dog after the veterinarian was eating cheese in a really weird way, and I was like, I'm going to a different vet after this.
What the fuck did you just say?
I don't.
Whoa. No, we're not skipping by that fucking thing at all. What do you mean he was eating cheese in a weird way?
Well, part of it was what he was saying while he was eating the cheese, and the other way was just him eating cheese. And I was like, I'm going to a different vet after
Do you not eat cheese?
I eat cheese, but I don't open, like, a bag. You can buy a small little bag of pre-sliced cheese.
Uh-huh.
So then he's opening that bag and pulling out 2-3 slices of cheese and, eating it. And I was like, that is not acceptable, dude.
He's at work?
Yes.
But don't you think maybe he's got to, like, speed up his consumption rate because he's got shit to do?
He has since passed away, but I found that.
But do you not think that maybe that was,
he is standing in the waiting room with people.
But he's got to speak. He doesn't have all fucking day to just sit there and eat cheese, okay? And he wants to get X amount of volume of cheese in his tummy. So
no.
maybe I do 3 stacks of cheese at the same time.
I'd rather see him tying off than doing that.
I hate you, okay?
He's standing in the waiting room with people with dogs, cats, whatever we had, and doing this. And what he was saying to a guy standing in the waiting room loudly, and everyone was hearing, he's like, I can show you scripture that will tell you that your dog will be in heaven with you after you die. I can prove it to you. And I'm eating this cheese. And I was like, nope, I'm out. Going to a different vet. It's too weird for me.
He was saying he can prove to you in the Bible that your dog's going to be in heaven with you.
Uh-huh. And eating slices of cheese out of a bag.
And did that part bother you at all? Minus take the cheese out of the situation.
50-50. I was like, these things, you shouldn't be having this conversation right here, and you shouldn't be just eating raw cheese like this.
Okay, get the cheese out of this situation. Let's forget about the cheese. Did the God thing have any... How did that make you feel? Where did that take you? Was that a good thing or bad? I thought you would have liked that because you love your fucking dog so much.
That's a crazy thing to say. If you can believe that,
People
if you
love
believe
their
that,
dogs.
if you believe, I believe definitely that my dog, if there's an afterlife, that my dog would be there. But I'm not going to be saying to someone in public, I can prove to you, I can show you scripture that will prove that your animals will be with you in the afterlife, and then take a big bite out of 3 slices of cheese. He was a great vet, I'm not going to lie, but that was too weird for me. Wait, and look, that we're off the point now. Why are people buying milk? You shouldn't have a gallon. Other than cereal, there's no reason to have milk in your fridge. If they took milk away, it'd probably be fine. I don't know. I'm never, ever going to be pouring a glass of milk. It's insane.
You kind of remind me of Larry David.
It's insane.
Is what you remind me of.
I'm just saying.
You just have these like weird principles that everyone's gotta follow.
I do?
Are you Jewish?
No. You're the one that hates metalheads. I hate milk drinkers. Unless it's chocolate milk.
But milk didn't bang your girlfriend, okay? So
you can put milk in cereal. That's it. And I don't think you need a gallon of milk to do that. I don't know.
I will say, like...
Is there milk in your fridge right now? Is there milk in your fridge?
I have 2 fucking kids. Of course there's milk in my refrigerator.
And they drink it?
It's good for the kids. What are you talking about? Yes, they drink. My daughter drinks a glass of milk probably every day. And then they eat cereal whenever we eat cereal.
Do you drink it?
No.
You just drink beer?
No, I don't like... Yeah, I drink either water or beer, and it's mainly beer.
Wow.
I do. What I drink is I have the liquid IV. I've been on that for like 4 months. So every morning I usually pour a big old glass of water, liquid IV, and just down that, and then coffee, and then maybe a soda at lunch, but that's like maybe 10% of the time, and then beer. But I will say, once in a blue moon, probably once every 5 months, I'll get really drunk and I'll fall asleep, and then I'll wake up at about 3 or 4 in the morning, and nothing is better than a fucking big old cold glass of milk. I don't know what it is, but it's fucking delicious when you're hungover.
Gross.
I don't know why.
Gross.
It's just so, oh my God.
It's disgusting.
That or a can of fresh Coke. I don't know what that is either. 4 in the morning, super fucking headache going on. Just crack a ice cold Coke, dude. It'll just fucking down the whole thing. It's so good.
Well, yeah, that makes a lot
more
more
sense. Better
sense.
than water. Better than water.
Yeah, that makes more sense to me.
Why?
People that are drinking milk are borderline serial killers.
I disagree with that.
There's
what about
something
eggnog?
wrong with
Do you
them.
drink eggnog?
Absolutely.
What's the fucking difference there, dog?
It's
Just
way
throw
better.
some sweets in it, and then it's okay to drink cow's milk?
Is that milk?
That is 100% milk.
It's eggnog. It's way better.
It's milk.
We never put milk out for Santa Claus.
Okay, how do you feel about people putting milk in their coffee?
Well, I would rather it be creamer.
Which is milk.
those things are okay. And you can put milk in cereal, that's fine. But just to be pouring a glass of milk.
Okay, what about yogurt?
That's fine. Yeah, all these different things.
Yogurt's fine. You can just
Yes.
sit and eat white yogurt, and you're totally fine.
It's nothing to do. Yeah,
That's- Cottage cheese, good.
Well, I'm not that's I would never buy.
But
yeah,
you
can
wouldn't
eat that.
mind someone sitting there eating that. But as soon as they pour a glass of milk
Yeah, that's disgusting.
over sour cream, good.
Fuck yeah. I think you're going off the color white, and that's not really
No,
what
I'm
it's
going
about.
off of fucking milk, man. It's fucking. You get the milk, and either you got milk now, or you turn that milk into a bunch of other things, and everything that it gets turned into, you're fine. Sour cream,
yeah.
blah 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 blah, all that shit.
Yeah.
But if you just take it around the first step and fucking drink it, you're
Just like it's okay to eat cheese. But if you're standing in the waiting room and you're a veterinarian and you're taking slices out of a bag, that's unacceptable. If the guy would have been there drinking a glass of milk, I don't know what would have happened. I'd probably be locked up still. I'm just saying. So in the middle of a blizzard being like, someone needs to get to the store for us for milk so we can survive. It's like, what are you talking about, dude? You need water, and that's it. Yeah, these people are braving a storm, driving 100 miles an hour, plowing snow with their fucking Honda Accord to get to the store to get milk. It's like, what are you doing?
yeah, you're a crazy person. Something you said earlier. It's been minutes now, 5-10 minutes.
Oh Jesus!
But it popped into my head, and it wasn't what you were saying, but it just triggered me on something. Don't you think it's funny? I don't know if you were this person, and I'm assuming you dealt with it in your life. But looking back at being like 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, when you're on the phone with someone and you're trying to like buy weed or something or a drug or whatever, is that like if you hundreds of times you got to like use code words.
Yeah.
Or you got to like, hey, I want some weed. And whoa, 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 whoa,
Yeah.
whoa. And it's like, is that not just the silliest thing to look back on? Like, you think the fucking cops are watching your phone and gonna come bust you over an ounce of fucking weed, dog? Like, you're a crazy person. That you think you're that important. That the cops are literally tapping into your phone because of some fucking weed. You're an idiot.
Even to this day, I wouldn't feel comfortable telling people some of the code words that we were using.
You could call me on the phone and be like, dude, I'm going to be at your house in 10 minutes. I got a pound of meth and like 3 ounces of Coke. And I'd be like, okay. I mean,
And a
I'm a
dead
little
body.
nervous. Yeah, I would be like, I would have no problem with any of that going over the airwaves on the phone. I'm like, we're fine, okay? There's like real criminal activity going on out there. And if they're really worried about some fucking little transactions that we're doing. You know how many people 20 years ago when everything was completely legal. Think about how many people in the United States had an ounce of weed on them. Millions and millions and millions of fucking people had an ounce of weed on them.
Yeah.
So how many of those millions of people do you think were ever caught on a phone?
Oh,
Like,
well, not a lot.
0.0001% of those people.
Yeah.
Like, you're fine, dog. Everything's fine. No one's listening to this call. We are okay.
Yeah.
And even if they are listening, we are not doing anything close enough, big enough for the FBI to show up at our doorstep. So we can just drop this now. We're good. You can tell me on the phone that you want an eighth of weed and you're coming over at this time to get an eighth of fucking weed. What kind of weed you want? Oh, we have these 2 different kinds of weed. Blah, blah, blah. We're totally fine. No one gives a fuck. We shouldn't give a fuck. You're being like,
Well,
that's watching too many movies. These are the same people that are on Facebook, right? 20 years later, same people on Facebook, fast forward, that Elon Musk is the biggest piece of shit on the planet. Just living in La La Land, that their life is so important that the government is listening to their phone calls. Like, okay, calm down, bud. No one cares about you.
Well, okay, weed does make people more paranoid.
But come on,
So
it was
there was
everyone.
paranoia.
Everyone at 18. Don't say the phone. You fucking doing, dude? Idiot. And it's like, bro, okay, calm down. Like,
Yeah. I would always just say, got any green? Or I would say, got any mush?
yeah, or that too. Then just all the code words. Like, let's fucking code word because we don't know if you're cool.
Yeah.
Or what? Like people walk up on the street like, yeah, you got any trees, dog? It's like, so you're asking me for drugs, but then
Yeah.
you're gonna be super unclear about how, like, what in your mind? How do you think this is gonna say like this? Because you didn't say weed.
Yeah.
You're not gonna go to jail now.
Yeah.
Like, if we get busted, you'd be like, I said trees, man. I said trees. I didn't say weed. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, let him go. Take the handcuffs off. He said trees, Bob. Like,
Yeah. I always just
people
said,
are retarded.
I always
People
just said green.
are retarded.
Just this week, someone said, do you still smoke the greens? And I said, no. But I said, I know you love the greens. So I'm still saying it. And that was on Facebook Messenger.
I think it's dumb.
It is dumb. You're absolutely right. But it was fun.
Bam, dog. You good to go?
Yeah, I think so.
Have you heard that TikTok song? My money don't jiggle jiggle.
Yes.
It folds.
Yeah.
I like to watch it wiggle wiggle. Faux show. Do you know the story behind the song?
No, but I have that video saved because it's catchy.
Just someone dancing to it?
No, the guy saying it.
Oh, so yeah, so what it is, I had to do a little digging because I was like, what is this? Who is this? So what it is it's not a song. It's that dude literally saying that, and these two guys have an account that all they do on TikTok is find videos online and add a beat to it and put auto-tune on it. And that just happens to be one of the videos. It's not a rap video. It's not music.
Yeah.
That dude didn't make that song. Like, he didn't rap it. It just, he happened to do it on time pretty good. Or maybe they manipulated the time. I was wondering that. Because without a beat, when you're just saying, like, if you were just sitting in a room silent and you're just like, my money don't jiggle jiggle, it folds. I'd like to watch you wiggle wiggle. Faux show. You could slowly be kind of dropping out of the beat. You know what I mean? And you wouldn't know it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You could be dropping in time and it stays right on time. So I was wondering if maybe they tweaked the video or it just worked out right. But anyways, that was it.
It's great. Oh, I will say half TikTok for the last week has been Johnny Depp.
Oh my god! Dude.
And for
that, I don't want to talk about that shit. That shit's stupid.
For one, it takes so little for me to get bored with something that I'm bored with it.
It's a boring case. Like, who gives a fuck?
Oh, I know. I know. I don't care. And it's just.
And usually I'm the guy that'll take the side of there's kind of an argument coming out where, you know, abuse towards men is abuse. You know what I mean? And that's like a topic I could see myself getting worked up about. Like, yeah, because I was raped at one point by a girl. And I do think it's a ridiculous double standard that if a man rapes a girl, it is like fucking brutal. But if a woman sexually, like, that it's not, it's such a weird double standard.
Yeah.
And I'm not mad about the rape. Like, it's honestly pretty funny. Like, she just took my pants off and started jerking me off. But I was so fucking drunk, ain't nothing was going to happen. You know, we weren't getting anywhere. That dick was not going up. I was way too drunk. But is it not fucked up? If I was a woman and that was a man, that person could be literally put to death for that. You know what I mean? Like, they could be doing life in prison for that. And with women, it doesn't matter. But anyways, it's such a boring case that I can't even get on that tangent with that. It's like, I don't care. Like, I don't care. You cannot get me excited about this case. It is stupid. It is not interesting in the slightest.
It's not. And people love it. And I'd love to see Johnny Depp have like a resurgence in acting, Because, in my opinion, he hasn't done anything good for a long fucking time. I'd love to see him
he was milking that. He was milking the Pirates for a while there.
And then did a bunch of other
six
dog
of those
shit.
fucking movies.
Yeah, and, I'm on the fence about the Pirates thing, but then everything after that was dog shit. And I'd love to see him have, like, a resurgence and do some really cool shit. Other than that, like, I just don't care. And that girl, though, was in Pineapple Express, and she was smoking fucking hot in that. But she is so crazy that I wouldn't go anywhere near her.
The one thing that was going around Facebook that I do think is super fucked up. Like, this trial should have been, we should be getting the same amount of footage on that Glassine Maxwell trial. Like, it's just bullshit to me. That's when you will get me on, like, the fucking 1%er type kick, is like, what the fuck is going on here? Why is this being sealed and, like, and they're saying it has, like, sensitive information in the trial, so it can't be an open trial? And it's like, no, I think the world deserves to see what's happening in this trial.
Yeah, but this trial is being shot in, like, HD and with, like, 15 cameras, and it's like, where's all this footage coming from? You have, like, a...
Well, no, but isn't that kind of bullshit, though? And then,
It's
like,
weird.
a really interesting trial
Right.
that should be the trial of the fucking last 25 years.
Right.
Is nothing on it and just completely swept under the rug. Like, what? And it's like, it's so suspicious. Like, I'm not the fucking one to Alex Jones it, but man, that shit seems suspicious. Like, there's,
I mean,
yeah, I
the
don't
fucking
know.
George Floyd trial was more interesting than this Johnny Depp one. Or Trayvon Martin and George Zimmerman. All these trials where you can still get bored real quick were more interesting than this. This is the most boring thing. And that trial of that kid, I was bored with that too. That was the most boring.
Kyle Rittenhouse.
Oh, that was the most boring trial of all time. Like, but the media loves a trial, but dear God, let's get some interesting ones.
Yeah. I hear you hacking, Harry. Episode 84 in the books. You good to go?
I'm good to go.
We love you guys. Until it's going to be, it may pretty much possibly 3 weeks from now. I don't know. We'll see if I get the courage to do a solo. I don't know. But we love you. And until next time,